5 seconds. It needs no mention that efficiency of operation must be measured by financial as well as technical success, and as a natural corollary, the operational obligation merges with the financial one. Our planners have admitted frankly that the financial obligations have not been met, for the boards have fallen far short of covering their outgoings. Taking the nationalized sector as a whole, it is very rarely that the huge capital expenditure of our public sector enterprises has been met from funds set aside by them. The major part, if not to be a cause of inflationary government borrowing, has had to be raised from the savings of private individuals and firms, or from the proceeds of taxation. It is worth noticing that the share of the total funds used for investment in the economy has been allotted to our nationalized sector, but practically there is no positive test by which to determine whether this has to pass the test of the market in the public sector enterprises. It has not to do so to the same extent, and political considerations are generally the decisive factor with regard to the sum of the amount to be appropriated. The nationalized sector could not make any significant contribution in improving human relations. Probably, nationalization has made them more complicated by destroying the worker's choice of employer within his industry, by bringing the government into the ring in important cases of dispute, and by disappointing the expectations of some workers that it would produce workers' control. Moreover, nationalized industries fail to satisfy the working people with regard to wage increase and conditions of employment. The act of nationalization intended the boards of our public enterprises to be made accountable to the nation for the discharge of their responsibilities. But in fact, Parliament has not been able to underline any suitable method for bringing them to account properly. Under no circumstances, the parliamentary system can be considered adequate and effective for the perfect control of industry, and accountability without control is meaningless. It is an admitted fact, however, that our publicly owned enterprises failed to satisfy the planners' expectations of outstanding progress and improvement, specifically with regard to surplus consumers' interest, labor management relations, employment opportunities, so to say, overall economic prosperity. Considering the unsatisfactory and gloomy records of our public sector enterprises and the deterrent effects of nationalization on our economic development, a group of politicians and economists have suggested a new program. They have asked the government to think of achieving the desired objective without further expansion of the area of the public sector, but simply by controlling private enterprises. In other words, they advocated to stop further nationalization policy, but highly appreciated regulating private sector organizations in the interest of the country. In their view, the state can make private industry more publicly accountable ordinarily through the planning mechanism. One way would be to set up planning councils in each industry with powers to ascertain and, if necessary, to publish the sort of information which seldom finds its way into the press today. Information on the market shares of the different firms, the rate of profit earned in various sectors of their operations, and so on. Moreover, private enterprises can also be effectively controlled and dictated if the government is empowered with the authority of acquiring compulsorily a controlling interest in any organization which refused or failed to play its part in the national interest, or which, after a full public examination, could be shown to be in any way failing the nation. Besides that, the state can very well exert its influence by purchasing shares in the more profitable sections of a private industry. Of course, we do not only propose to effect ownership but also control at the same time, and therefore it would be appreciable if some provisions are contained in the company law so that the government is in a position to nominate its representative on the boards of directors. The above idea is worth considering, no doubt, but perhaps in reality, the device would not be potentially sensitive to inspire our private establishments to chalk out schemes of individuals, nor are they assured of free movement. But in a mixed economy where it is the joint responsibility of both the private and public sectors to accelerate the pace of economic development. Surely it is menacing if any one of them feels shy to shoulder that responsibility.